Converge to elect a president and members of parliament to steer the affairs of the country. Tonight, we interrogate further the wheels of democracy, the roadmap, and how far we can go. I am Kwaku Annan, and this is the Frontline. Of course, we are live tonight across dozens of stations, all scattered across regional capitals. We're also live across the superhighway, of course, all on our social media handles. Check us on MyCTVGH, MyCTVGH on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and all that you know. And you get this program live. Call a friend to call a friend to call a friend. Together we think and talk. And I know by now you've just, you've glued to your TV, about to watch the most educative, the most informative, the most powerful program. With who? With Kwaku Annan. Folks, it's just about, call it 5 minutes gone past the hour 8. And I'm here to do a wonderful stuff with you. And all I'm asking you is don't be lazy. This program is not for the weak. It's not for the weary, for the strong. And of course, people who are ready to learn. People who want to acquire knowledge, people who want to know more. Enye agro edie, enye efedie, enye nsra hehebo. But yene Ghana for echichichichi ni bencheye, enye ne mo ba besom. E de e ka kire wa ne se pe baby papa bi natna. Na se wondidi enso a bia betimi do WhatsApp no dina no abesi baby a ubenya access to with television no and also so we call mobile phone no so or even a laptop no so now person will share program where quickly go on social media handles nina come YouTube for a pagem, Facebook a pagem, and no if you dear minimum casa was we or more handles my CTV GH, my CTVGH in terms of Facebook, my CTVGH, and our YouTube, my CTVGH, ubenyani na ashe. Me ame personal handles no, the Frontline Ghana, our YouTube, Facebook, and then TikTok. Ubenyani na bi so ashe program we wo kama na nyama atutuna kwa mishana so say me the WhatsApp line bro Monday I guess I'm saying to me I can come message loads of messages making kanina edi amamo and of course messages and also ebeba eimre into your views, your opinion, everything about program way any nkoma ye bedi wa ha anadwe and I maybe say also for message ebra in terms so na yebekin kan e was 024 764 0312 024 764 0312 Mississippi 024 764 0312 making kanina edi amamo and tem and I dream in penny fubi so me papa ora Paul Boatin, he's a security analyst currently watching me from London. Paul, salute. Meaning say we share a friend and a brother. Paul Boatin is a security analyst. We share program way, and then good brothers be so SA South Africa Boga also share me Boga. Salute you and a quadru also was South Africa muina mohwe program we oyankopon enkam ho papa folks anadwi ye betwa Ghana speaks a maiden edition ye de edi kan no menemo discuss a topic ben topic e discuss e na say nsemfu a me de to ho e ka ho asem no metudin socio-political and religious setbacks. Patrosa wote e kwanya esum ana memfensha se free se akonuasa mona musio kabime mi kebio se de ben no kabom ene esum ehia wonum twa wo mu hu se na fi abe asudie ama me ne omienu e wo saa omai we mu asudie ne that the whole of Africa so these people of color saa asudie no na die so ayen konson hye kon aye efidie a eyiri yen ene biom aye nsuyire kese ena efa yen amem yen ena efa ye de akọ like a flood is sweeping us for well over how many centuries in Yedasutim na anadwi me de part 2 edeba enye better sao eja wo mu enti sa topic here me de ato ho amamu socio-political and religious setbacks eno ehun komo ena program ne mo ahia se as of Monday and Wednesday me beto aso na bibi nti na me ye de ameye ai nan enra akwebi from see Kwaku na won fa expose sin hihia so ntem Kwaku expose them say listen, I am one of a journalist that you can't push me. You won't mean push me. 2, I am a journalist, I listen to advice. But then again, I am strong in my conviction and what I think I have to do, at what time and at what period it's necessary to get it done. Ghana for ye huni pebia. Se 1 to 2 ways si wanamo ya ansha udi Ghana for no said your moya madina we medi o mani mu a obedi o machi. We are like that. Enti me ye nneoma e wo nebreso ebio mamenkai wo say program we enye obi ehu nti enye nipakuo bi ehu nti enye amanyokuo bi ehu nti enye asori bi nti enye osofo bi nti enye politician bi nti enye businessman bi nti ena enye obi anti na Kwaku yede me abetra mamenkama ne nto waso. Yes folks, many abre na mene mo kasa. And yet none of the above persons or person, whoever, enti na meti ha o. Na mami ninka so fenshe wase se ubedi atem ube ye den. Me atem no baby I don't get to see them. Me wo tro de ko Facebook o de ko yan bebre mi hu. Because production team na say you are either part of us or against us. But on one hand, why wouldn't you rather choose the option of being part of the process or being part of the decision making? And of course, must also allow yourself to be part of the change all of us we wish to see. Dan say, oh, media and say, me kodidi Kwaku Annan atema, me kodidi na atema na we wakotra Facebook, ne we di atema we die na office why bibia ma. Na wo di matam family we. Wo di matam we nyo. Meba betra ha. Monday, Wednesday, Friday na my program. So what do you think you gain out of that? Choose the optional. You see, America for no more come and say, listen, we need more options than dramatics. All right? We need more options than dramatics. We've dramatized in this nation, we Kwame Nkrumah era ni free wa 31 years. Makach Monday no wutie me a. Me say 6th of March eba. 6th of March, you know what he's saying? 6th of March 1950 saying, na Ghana we saying Ghana was the first country in the south of the Saharan African continent to have gained its independence. And shortly after the independence, spirits of gloom, despondency, and moral decadence have become a commonplace. And you think you are happy. I am not. So we nim the ekwa na na obi bi say Kwaku no say one kasa kura we di vie say na wo ka can say Kutu Echampo asem say yes. I'm a young man growing. But then it's fundamentally Kwaku is someone who loves learning. I learn, I research, I do a lot. Messages piwa be person me ka Kutu Echampo ho asem. But you know what, quickly Kutu Echampo history ni na no. Like I said, my company, the Hawk Investigations PI, was contracted by Kutu Echampo's foundation, which is a launch foundation, this year, September, Airway. Kutu Echampo Foundation will be launched in Ghana. Emma Ubiehu, no mapa hontama, na fie hu bibia no Ghana for mubehu. A part of Yabakwa Samoa, but who say your historians in this country empe ho asemka. This documentary no. Together with Kutu Echampo Foundation and Kufuor's Foundation, and Professor Bafo Ajimendia, a man I have a lot of respect for. It's a rich history, you need to watch it. Multimedia, Joy News was given the opportunity, say, woman telecasted documentary, no, woman Oko Miami Private Network, Hawk TV, YouTuber, Hawk TV, ye part 1, ye part 2, part 3, no. And I'm Kwemoba, Koshushe Binashe, so that you can study and get the rich history, the era of Kutu Echampo, and it your year or Ghana. Tonight, folks, Bedemoba Bejina, sociopolitical and religious setbacks in the part 2. Amania Yehu Ewa Africa ha, Ebra, the white supremacist, Ede Esum Beya. It depends on which womb. I don't want to center it primarily on just Christianity because Bebrenafi is a good year. As one year Christoni. Me a Christoni or me a Christoni. It's neither, that's inconsequential. So long as Kwaku Ejitum say Onyankopon ewo. It's close. The American would say. Se Kwaku Jitum say there is God there and any area. Because mi jitum so Nyankopon wo. At least I believe that God forms the complex network of the galaxy. Now the area sorry na be see ho. Unim say they adisi etumisa any adechie. Eno na kire so bibi ho. Me ka kire akwa bi say wonyi Nyankopon kura ni no. Wodi wani ehu mframada. Yesi. Wodi wani ehu mframada. Enframa unim ne kala. Se wonyi Nyankopon ni a ene hwe se de enframa esitie the air oxygen. On se wo akwala to ho a hospital ho no. Se akwala no anye hwe a na che se asem osi. E de na be ma why hwe right there. Oxygen. Nti wonyi bibia ni ahu se to me bi wo ho. There's a God who controls the galaxy. And you must believe that he is, and I may say, the God that was and is to come. Jidiso owo. Nemom ekwanya obi fa so. Emma ube hu. Nyankopon bia enye de Nyankopon na. Ebia minu mienu ye fe se oye de Nyankopon that we know. Because nobody deceive anybody. How would you settle? What ho? No biaba. A God who looks like him, not like you and I. When Yankopon was sesa nipa no ne niama eye blue, a blonde hair and all kinds of being. Ote so ono wonte se menewo na o se fa no som no ye bibia wo de sa di be fam wie na o san de esum bi nso so ana ade bi so baya o se eden a democracy yemfa democracy emfa nante wasase na democracy ne ba ne mfie dodo sen nie century dodo sen nie na etumi etu anamon amawiase akonani mu ana. Folks, fasten your seat belts. Emre menu be sua there. But the obeya ma me say every way call a friend unua bi wo half asinin or boko or nyamanansa or wa tumu friend no aka chen so onmie ni TV station obi ni TV so sorry ni TV no obi a manen flip it through or hwehwe station be ya CTV and a class TV. But me penese obebo no say CTV on hwehwe CTV when yakura no ko Go TV wo decoder no a wo Go TV no a koso okwa na hwehwe screen through ubehu CTV ho na hwe when timi kura no yeden call social media handles no ko YouTube type it, my CTVGH simple my CTVGH no we and now call Facebook my CTVGH not just a program no wo hwe me quickly ye be kwe nim so ma menya sa announcement yi say we corporate organization and ankra na asesen bibia mo ye ebia mo ton product ana bia mo ton enro ana whatever it is bomodia na tu anamon na bra CTV ha say ana fre sa number 0247640312 number we me use and me ya sure say Friday e beba so na if mama a reliable line we be to di dwuma but between and nekosi ochina wo pese wo be adverts ana obame ye bo products bi hu dero emawa all corporate organizations ankro said the moya moniama uton enro moton aduane moton products bi mo pese wiase na ehu sa products na bomodia akonya ewo ho ema oba ye be announcement na mo ana so se wo pese wo ye den oba studio ha me ye interview live interview ewo studio ha eno so akwenya ewo ho ema ye be ye interview ne abo dwumedie no ho dero e de ama ema Ghana fo ne wiase sanse program we enam wiase ba bia na Ghana fo hu products na emum hye no so se koye aduane ana eduro a ebe no makoye mu a dia mesre o se ye ne se ko na Food and Drugs Authority for certify the quality and efficacy of the drugs and yes I mean to me enka wasem bombarding ye ntem because encho ebebu afaso. Now, week way, me know and Nancy through. We are on the path of this journey way. Me person me conscientize Ghana for me. Shadi be say. Ye chia ya sanya kwa ye ntimi nko ye nimu da no. Eye de me no ka ho aseme. Sa topic ya me de ato ama. Eno na me de gigi weni kakra em wo hwe. Bukompo enipa wonam wiase a se brano ubu kompohwe wechi se kwabena kwadwo kwame na meko senie na sen na meko no so no edi enti na meko sa na wahwe wabra bonum se anamoto ni nkoyi a begin to identify your shortfalls and correct them enti na menemo ahyase wo sa topic we na topic we dodo na aso gidi se edi enya dodo well ebusiafo yesi kwem but quickly my main find just here say in same BC there's this developing story and also a hard dream papa said the center cannot hold menemo ka say the August House ho eja to ho bija nipa aswan ye the governing party edomku ewo parliament no call it the slight majority or the slight whatever you may call them MPP side ho no eja ato ho beja ma chese omodwene omhwe kra enye kokoso enye kokoso simple party ni mpanimfo ene kokos na wo efie ho no ese omoto ato adwene na moye den ye hwe sisi a if mu pese mu change baton no a oh okay sisi a no from Chemensa Bonso on hand over mahwan kwame na afenyo marking whoever net what was we enkwasa o Menemoka said there's a crunch meeting currently ongoing at Hemfa, Jubilee House. And I'm sure say before this program close, I may give you some breaking news story. Of course, this is a developing story we are gauging and we'll give you up to the minute development and how things are ongoing. Any won't count. The center cannot hold. But I tell the MPP say a lot is on the way coming up. Man, because we're Joe Wise crowd they're walking as though some members of the party are beginning to fight Joe Wise one way or the other. Saying the center simply cannot hold. ANSMP. Well, tonight the Frontline is airborne, 33,000 above seabed, and of course, together with the entire team, my camera guys, yes, Samson is in the house, friend is Amando, and of course MCR. Joshua is there, director of TV. Same Adenu is there. Great guys giving me all the backing, the support to ensure say the program to come Eddie amount. Now, quickly, say WhatsApp messages in Odebeba. Lots of them, I'll read all of them before Ansana Memami Musu Ifri. I say WhatsApp line here 024 7640312. 024-764-0312. Nanyamaina Adetana Kwemu. Come on. Now, tonight on Ghana Speaks, I bring you the part 2 of our maiden edition on Monday titled Sociopolitical and Religious Setbacks. Mobekaya. And in this edition, we shall unveil the deep secret blueprints prepared and unleashed by a well-captivated and charismatic leader of Belgium. In 1883, when King Leopold II of Belgium declared a religious war on Congo. When we say on my Congo way, now we are here about African copy. On my Congo, I represent here African Cup. Na me salute Congo for. Because the kind of tournament, just a course war, Ivory Coast, Agropramaswa, Congo for a ball no. Debbie. And you know Black Stars you. Congo for Eshe Congo. Or mine enemy nyampa. No one most na me. There were about 3 teams. Kind of saying South Africa. Yes, na me Rutuma South Africa. Na me Rutuma South Africa. Na me Rutusuma friend is saying Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Because my relatives be was our countries in movie. But Congo for me Bowoma Baso papa for the fact say Congo your maybe a womo abreye entokwa esi kona kwaye womo e kan say kwaye research about Congo any amania on my Congo no akom na hwade ni na sa amania ni ohawe Congo for na akom ni kire say ifri bebi ifri o eno ho nkomo na anadwemi ni obedi bie efri bebi efri because of womo colonial masters ekwan bonia womo do womo fa so chinchim wo madwene through psychology, through hypnotization, through dogmatization enyama bebre me catch mo Monday wo wunya program ne hwe ne me catch ewiase bibia anyehu ene obia ne hu nyehu se de watwetuo wo so epese okun sa abre ne hu nyehu even though epese say de the ball no okun ya wekun wo baby but de ne hu nyehu no eye de wafa kweti kwan bi so no obema wabeye akoa na wasom no nkwada nyinamu folks me say enyasem kito na Kwame Nkrumah nim sentia oka say the independence of Ghana no enye enough na opeso de Africa na boom together ne yeden or emancipate yen or liberate yen ene ene. And you know what e be before suni e ban to say nkoto ba ku ko eni mo na atwena sign. And ever since that spirit of the pull down syndrome, that spirit of the setbacks, roadblocks and booby trap in free Africa that no Sema Congo on my way 1883 and abrofi to kwasha womoso e dani wo madwene e de no mre ko e yasumu me be kan krata na kire oninie krata na da ha no me be kan a kire mo e kwan a wo mo fa so a wo mo sesa the brainwashing, the mindset dani wo madwene men ne Congo abed and omu wie no omu dani wo madwene no mu twa ntokwa edi si kro num and you say the whole Africa and Ghana, even though I say Nyamanku, but there is some sense of reason if you have said a year there, your a baby a year busi, I say a funny car and interest and mountain for me from with you. To own say, less any more dean crass saying, and Tom and room if na pie near ye assumbre. But a mind be so dear no, and yes, sir, who read the history of Rwanda, and SMP, Hutus and Tutsis, a nipple ye. All because of this Western world. Now, Congo, on my critical way, let me break the news to you. Say Congo, the whole global mineral deposit, about 50% of the mineral deposit is to Congo. That is why in Tia say Abrofono, etimi aye runway, ewo wirem kwayem ho nti aircraft no free say London or say Britain or whatever say America etimi be lande ewo kwayem ho enko airport o mutumi the aircraft lande wo kwayem ho na o masisa gold diamond bauxite cobalt. Now one of essential material mineral ewiase ye hia ede aye niam bi ti say ade esi menim laptop camera si esi menimi mobile phones we aircraft engine printers and many electronic appliances is being generated by a material called cobalt. Go and research. Congo produced the 56% of the global mineral deposit called cobalt, copper, zinc, iron. Oh yes, some of you know, some of you don't. And that is the reason why in Abrofuni ni Bria, wamudin to kwakasie ekoshe Congo no mu confuse mu through their religion, because assume dia it will culture you into submission. Assume bia say yeah yes, assume bia to all of them. Assume bia one is psychology be culture you into submissiveness. Christosum, the Muslim religion, Hare Krishna, the Gnostics, the Masons, the Buddhists, the Hindus, all across. Entina yemfa assuming niagro. Now, yenko krata we mu ne yenhwe kwan a sa Europeans yi womudi assume echo capture the people of Congo no womadwene ema womu lose womu sense of dignity and womu identity. Now, this letter was written by King Leopold II of Belgium to colonial missionaries in 1883. And omochro krata we. Sa time no na abrofo ne nenam African continent ni mu. Womu eyeden ede womu esom nam a womu dane yadwene. Enti King Leopold no ono de krata ne koma missionaries na womu wo Congo ni say mumfa asem wei emfen koma Congolese fo na monna na womadwene say be ya ye benya access to their mineral deposit ni entuni na amfanko esom wo esom called religion Christianity. Now documenting here, shall we? Or see quotes, reverends, fathers and dear compatriots, the task is that given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You would go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interest. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. Monday na muti dia mekachira mu. Kachira mu say Obronini be Africa 15 centuries ago with their sea safaris no. Ni enim Nyankopon de dawo. Even Ghana ha. All the 16 regional capitals, trust me. Every tribe, how many tribes in Ghana? Each tribe bia nim kwan omofa sofro Nyankopon. I swear to God, we know it. And that's fact. And I am all obia. And tinye broni no no obechira o say kona ko bisa unananom. And what I say, they know God already. They speak and are submit to Mungu. One in Zambi, one in Zakumba, and what else? I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie and to insult is bad. Or say no munim say atro die ne sabi unu obi yire bedano eyichwade emayen. Now listen. Or say have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them what they know already. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you would go to interpret the gospel in the way it would be the best to protect your interests in the parts of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their underground, to avoid that they get interested in it and make you murderers. Competition and dream one day to overthrow you. Also, your knowledge of the gospel would allow you to find text ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Like tiha, to love the poverty. And or the shall say, quote, happier are the poor because they would inherit the heaven, unquote. So say, woman de share Bible no. Or sin in Shanka more than a here for a sense or sooner himemu and a year. Who said, oh, my madrini? Yes, you. Or say, and quote, it's very difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of God, unquote. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives you courage to affront us. I make reference to their mystic system and their warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon, and you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action would be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parent teachings. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends, who is the father of their soul. You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read or not to reason. Womun chreyen adie to read. Womun chre said ye be hu akenkan na emum nya said ye bedwene. And the truth to the sense of the letter. Africa, we love reading, but yintimi sebe emfa nneoma nkwa adwendwen mu. Ya dwemu wo ha. Ya dwemu ha all over Africa, that's the fact. Or say there dear patriots, are some of the principles that you must apply. You would find many other books which would be given to you at the end of this conference. Evangelize the niggers so that they stay forever in submission to the white colonialists, so they never revolt against the restraints they are undergoing. Recite every day, quote, happier are those who are weeping because the kingdom of God is for them. Or say, convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Force them to pay you in sign of recognition. Goats, chicken, or eggs every time you visit their villages. And make sure that niggers never become rich. Sing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter heaven. Make them pay tax each week at Sunday Mass. Makapen. Me say, where ye Christopher Nedia, adia ye friend of the tight etrim. And sorry be a moje tight, Missy Munyai. Etrim, more summon himself with all can in a crack. Collection of tight, me see etrim achieve the usefulness. It's outmoded and near drumebium. But when said tight and mood ye di qua. As of when you be more moje tight or mass order, missing mood ye di qua. Now, Shaher, or say, and make sure that niggers never become rich. Sing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter heaven. Make them pay tax each week at Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing business centers. Institute a confessional system which allows you to be good detectives, denouncing any black that has a different consciousness contrary to that of the decision maker. Teach the niggers to forget their heroes and to adore holy hours. And I'm a boy. So me boy ko event saying University of Legon, University of Ghana, ko na ko events and KNUST, all the premier universities in Ghana and all the institutions of higher learning. Na ko say courses na ye wo ho no. Now I don't even want to go into other things. Ko ho na ko courses na ye nuanom no bi wo mo ye wo ho no. Eye course a ade a ya kire book no mo no. Efa u heroes ho. And for mo ho the business books, the political science books, the psychology books, none of them could be said to be that of something that was generated from our time. Nina, political science, for example. Ukokinka nyoma 11th-12th century politics nyoma course aristocrats and Aristotle and Karl Marx and you know what? You have students at Hinfa Legon. Obewieno Ghana bakwasem woso mo ba koso nkyira wo wontimi. Oka say, look, give me a history of Rawlings. Give me a history of Kwame Nkrumah ontimi. Meanwhile, or your political science student but ontimi ma Ghana political history. Why? Because I didn't know what you will go on. Ni nara ayobi e man swadisua. By the way, Bible no cry wo kind. Bible no say you'll be history. Bible ni be history. Anamebwa. The Bible is a history of a group of people living somewhere in Tel Aviv, somewhere in Jerusalem, somewhere in Bethlehem. Where? Where is you? And the most sad part of it is, when they were writing the book, they could not even factor you and I in the Bible, in the written of the Bible. And it's Sunday, no, so for nebe John no fa Bible no. Kind we are. And this is a job a job such as say nobody questions him. The man of God preaches and nobody can question until he's done. Really? Oh, how they've changed our minds. Now, Shahir, or say, never present a chair to a black that comes to visit you. Don't give him more than one cigarette. Never invite him for dinner, even if he gives you a chicken every time you arrive at his house. Quote, the above speech, which shows the real intention of the Christian missionary journey in Africa, was exposed to the world by Mr. Mukwani Buko, born in the Congo in 1915, and who in 1935, while working in the Congo, bought a second-hand Bible from a Belgian priest who forgot the speech in the Bible, Dr. Chidiozi Okoro. Or say, we should note, one, that all missionaries carried out and still carry out that mandate. We are all lucky to have found King Leopold's articulation of the aim of all Christian imperialist missionaries. Christians what? Underline the word. Imperialist missionaries to Africa. Two, even the African converts who today manage the older churches in Africa, the priests, bishops, archbishops, cardinals, etc. of the Roman and Protestant sects, and especially also those who evangelize born-again Christianity still serve the same mandate, which is why they demonize African gods and angelize African names and drop the names of African deities which form part of African names and still attack and demolish the African shrines that have managed to survive. Example, Okija. 3. Those Africans who voluntarily converted to Christianity before the colonial conquest, such as Afonso I of the Bakongo in the 15th century, probably did not discern the purpose of the brand of Christianity that was supplied to them, which was probably why they fell easy prey to the missionaries and the white traders and pirates who followed them. But their Japanese counterparts probably did discern the game, even without access to some vision of Leopold's letter. But even if the Japanese shoguns did not institute what Leopold makes explicit, they clearly realized the danger of Japanese converts to Christianity forming fifth column within Japanese society and state, a fifth column loyal to their co-religionists in Europe. To rid Japan of that danger, in the late 16th century, the shoguns began their expulsion of Portuguese and Spanish missionaries on the grounds that they were forcing Japanese to become Christian, teaching their disciples to wreck temples, taking the trading slaves, etc. Then in 1596, it became clear to the Japanese authorities that Christianization had been a prelude to Spanish conquests of other lands. Last paper, it quickly denounced on them that a fifth column loyal to Rome and controlled by the priests of a foreign religion was a clear and present danger to the sovereignty of a newly unified Japan. Soon after, the persecution and suppression of Japanese Christians began. Early in the 17th century, sensing the danger from a creed that taught obedience to foreign priests rather than the Japanese authorities, all missionaries were ordered to leave, and all Japanese were ordered to register at the Buddhist temples. When Japanese Christians took part in a rebellion, foreign priests were executed. The Japanese were expelled, and Japanese Christians were forbidden to travel abroad. After another rebellion, largely by Christians, was put down, the Japanese Christians were suppressed, and their descendants were put under close state surveillance for centuries thereafter. In the 1640s, all Japanese suspected of being Christians were ruthlessly exterminated. Thus, did Japan, by 1650, save exile from the first European attempt to mentally subvert, conquer, and colonize. Is this Christianity? What a those a Bible no there are histories be a better say. People were beaten, people were maimed, people were crushed into what? Accepting Christianity. Now as soon as see a boo and say you boom pray. Chawumba wechi said jitum sem pesem hey Christ asam na muken. I mean see him. Or say the African captives who were taken abroad and enslaved, and the Africans at home after the European conquest have already been forcibly deprived of their autonomy, were in no political position to resist Christianization. Thus, the Christianity still practiced in all of the African American diaspora, just as that in the African homeland since the start of the 20th century continues to carry out the Leopoldian mandate. Hence, for example, where is the white born agains? Listen, where is the white born agains of the USA when in the US Navy ships in WW second sank? Quote, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, unquote. The attitude of African born again converts today is best summed up as praise the Lord and lie down for the manna, unquote, quote unquote. I say thanks to a century or more of this Leopold mandated missionary mind control, African Christians are not an activist, self-helping, economically engaged, politically resolute, let alone militant bunch. Hence, they are putting up with all manner of mistreatment and exploitation by their misrulers, white and black. The most they are disposed to do to their misrulers is to admonish them to, quote, fear God, unquote, as one protester's miserable placard read in last week's Lagos demonstration against the latest of the Medros fuel price hikes by the OBJ misgovernment. The idea of an uprising to tame their misrulers is alien to the religious appiated frame of mind of the Nigerians. The lesson in the contrast between Africa, that the Christian missionaries brainwashed and subverted, and a Japan where this brainwashing and submission was forcibly prevented to stack and clear. The people of Congo womode womo efa asuni na afi ni bebi eni mebi a kyerɛkyerɛ mo me kan we wie no kyerɛ sɛn shortly after their religious ideologicals and dogmatism no enioma womo eye yede kyerɛ ebibifo no eye enioma wodwen ho a wonti ase. Now folks, I present to you yet another British scholar who traveled length and breadth of Africa in anticipation to discover the DNA of this people of color. However, in his quest of discovery, Lord Macaulay proposed the roadmap for the British Parliament and suggested the following: how Africans can be subdued. Mebe bon foni achiro. Na mfoni a mebe bo achiro wi enipa Oshem emomutu sa na mo friend Lord Macaulay. Na papai ochi Africa na both north, south, east and west. Na nyoma o discover no wa u ba betie. U ba betie. Na o discover we no e na okọ Britain e na on the British Parliament etna ase e na o catch them say Africa wo hu si ebetimi a capture Africa. Media makoho enyoma mi hu ye no ye 1 A2 A3. Enti si epese e capture om dia ene mom ye mfa saa kwan we so. E kwan ben ena Lord Macaulay or directed the British Parliament in so mumfa so. Take a listen to this.
Yes, 1835. It's 2nd February. 2nd February, no. 18 degrees in Aquarius. 30 degrees Aquarius. Planet Saturn. And another ho. And the identity and another ho. A new. Say Saturn, evidently, you are or challenges. My media was so very one. And I'm going to say, Lord Macaulay, no, honor, no phone in the honor. Ha, they didn't move another one. Anna. Meeting your Mokoye, no. Nina. Eh, your friend say, summary. And I'm the other two, and I'm a country. After the other kind, I say, I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief, a wealth I have seen in this country. Such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we could ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture. For if the Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. And Lord Macaulay addressed to British Parliament on 2nd of February 1835. I say, Metupain, Mananti, a tiffy and a four a boyatoye, I will be memu. Now, me who never go yesterday for me who never go or come mocha. Me who say, oh, yeah, from four and I say, me who from the same year so and Grofui, or with D and Grofon, or with Diomo. Now, Grofon, or Masi. Now, Mubua, dear. O mamre no mama ni bibia di mu me hu sankofo e bi da na sankofo e dia me nyine da da se ye betumi ediom sunkunim na ye pese ediom sunkunim ya awo se o machi bremu ya backbone etumi eye bibi fa ho se ye bebubu no na o mo sa echi bremu.
Folks, so what say? Well, Adreno said he is here, Juma. And before they are here, you go Africa, a bunch of whatever you may call us. But I tell you, Abraham TB cannot symbol America, say, ever since Oko US. Abrofo no man 19 and be brain is for money or more control businesses near there. But not once that Brunina and Adrian say said on any tear crowd to say no or Beb Shreno say, oh, we are the blueprints here, the years I don't know, obey me at Shrenada on yet. And they won't do it. Until before, ye black people, dear ye betty me aye, and so at the boy and Cassia. Mo politics ya mo ye wo memu he krai. They said the Musia Ghana, you crooked. We are just a dot. Ghana is a dot located at the epicenter of the world. We are a dot located at the epicenter of the world. Your population is saying 31 million. Hello. The Nigeria for one saying Nigeria 37 federal state. Nti ebetimi aka say Abuja mpo bia ebeso achi Ghana meboa. Nti say Abuja any Ghana mpo be pa. Huh? Abuja yemfa how many government officials NSO ye as ministers, as high-ranking government officials, as municipal district chief executives? How many people should work for the government in Abuja? So, if Ghana is like an Abuja, nessa wo abai ebeba na ubeyi 126 again 126 ministers to govern this nation. Madness. Abodan for yadwini nya adwuma. Yadwini ene nya adwuma. Politics and some dem de mu be wuramu o. Na niema mu be hu o man we mu no hu bi da. That's why I make a choice say menya kwaduro. This program is a learning curve. Eya disua. Nioma ese wusua no e wo Ghana ha no e doso ese wusua niema bebre. You need to learn a lot. 126 ministers. So President Kwaku Addo 126, and he finds every means to justify why 126. Osone swa bedru nanu ya no. You know benya saying 86 ministers. Now former President John Dramani Mahama obaye no si no be the 16 ebeko. Baumia, His Excellency the Vice President, Washad needing or say kai challenge Jack. I need to drop or she knows no, I need to drop the numbers, I need to drop it. I have to change the equation. Baumia has to change the call sign. The Vice President Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia sees say, hey Jack, I so change the call sign. Or say me drop it down 50. But you know what? The sad part of it is that Vice President Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia is still with the government and sees something wrong with even the 86 ministers. Yet he's just at the corner enjoying all about what? So why would Vice President criticize the 86 ministers? Do you know the sad part of it? And the most part, I find it very insulting from the Vice President. And Vice President, video. Now what I don't know, maybe Friday or Monday, I'm going to do some exclusive adibia. Now who Vice President Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia? Who the idea? Should I say? You are trying to, as it were, secure yourself a comfort leader. A government you've been part of. You are not even proud of the legacy of yourselves and the rest. You are trying to shift the goalposts, shift shape approach. But Ora Baumia, if he said, the ministers say appoint to Oma Mani Balu Bedru 126, and many of them rided on the shoulders of the Vice President to become ministers. True or false? The answer is true. And Vice President Alhaji Baumia, some of these ministers pass through Vice President's office. Municipal and district chief executives, high-ranking government officials, many of them almost pass through Baumia's office. Now we are, we be Ghana for yenim. Let me speak for myself. I feel the over 50 ministers. Go and tell the Marines. Oh, they already be bini watching. They don't. Bronine ma who crow. I call it miscarriage and travesty of justice for a black man to come rule the country and then subject the entire nation, the citizens of the nation, same through that of what the white man did to us. And that's the most painful part of this whole democracy. Complete rogue. Ekwanya broni edi bibini fa so a or say edi yenya no wonua bibini ba or se me betwa so the same road map na ya dodo. And the broni ni ye no all up to him 1830 something abolition of the slave trade. Enough. Let's sit down and let's begin to devise our roadmap. Niam Franco. He said the only African leader me sorry na me salute no. What is happening in Rwanda? Paul Kagame Kagame. And sooner rather than later, Rwanda would begin to lead and change the narrative. I'm telling you folks, and yet you know, Musoria, you proud yourself. Ghana, gateway to Africa, a beacon of democracy, golden age of business. Akuffo Addo no the best also. At the end, do you remember? Ozidien, Ghana beyond aid. Ghana beyond aid. Before our very eyes. Now, President Akuffo Addo has written a letter to the events and then former Minister of Finance. Ken Ofori and Ataka. Ositro, terms of Maunayan terms of IMF ko. Now, President Akuffo Addo refi say, hey, one ma Ghana for what to say Ghana beyond aid. Now, we refi mo. Ghana beyond aid. What me person me dem fasa kwan we so minyan wura politics nsam o ha de beba what mama ma ya adwene ne mrefie ne enhwe ni bebia ni hia me. I don't want to be tempted to sway off there. Now listen, one more year we no in a related development, the late Queen Elizabeth, whose grandfather King James, who wrote the King James Bible, unimza kokona ko here, go and check who wrote the King James Bible, was seen in a video throwing what? Popcorn to African children as though she's rearing chicken. Until is here when you're a baby, Queen Elizabeth. One papa chro King James Bible in Miami, ye King Canim near day. One no see a sha, no su ejinawa, before ma. Mintimi uzomi Ghana for ma uzomi Kenya fu uzomi Zimbabwe uzomi deo. And Grand Craig go na mami to popcorn mom say monsisa. Oh yeah mobo. She we a Ghana ni penny we a bank. We a minister. We a high-ranking government official, municipal chief executive. We a journalist. We a mason carpenter. Aye sunkakrama on wate. Not because we be a woo, but suma on who say we a bibini na we a Ghana ni. Mommy and kakrawate. Iranum. Mesramo. Mommy nya atinka kakrebio. Fema woman wate. Who say the patriotic songs ni na yeto all right, but the patriotic songs no longer drive us. The patriotic songs envisage what? Patriotism. Owing a narrative. Owing something that tells a story about who you are. It's no longer there. Queen Elizabeth. And what to popcorn ego is a Yansesa popcorn in India. Oh, Africa, it be before. And in a Hebrew, for one Troy, it's a cardboard. When you cook when you boy. Take a listen to this. It was saying, Unza Konopa. Akono, fe. It be before ma. Yeah. It's sap popcorn. And who say, I dear whom phrase or muye. Wait a minute here. Who say, it's a transient tool. It's like a cancer cell. It eats it into us deeply. It corrupts our brains, our mindset into as we speak. How many centuries then? Now. So say, all over Africa. We still would go. I'm not saying this to us to degrade a, but the credit down is still. Ye ko abrochimemu eko tase de second hand goods. Ko market ochina kokrom especially obese hu a ko La Paz, udru La Paz the biggest traffic lights na here all the way to Nyameche, all the way to Kwashimere ekwana no we na na hu ho second hand goods nko a ye kwa na yakosisa in containers. Oh yeah mobo. Brony will not respect you, trust me, folks. And that's what Ghana. Then the American government will come and say, hey, we need to have some negotiations with you. We want to come and build their air base. When I would was ask you, air base ye dia soldier for asra for air ba woman me na me de me man am so no all because of the US supremacy. He wants to still remain as the world's most superpower into Obabesini air base by force. No one more kumebi. Now Minister for Defense Nitiwu na eyende denenia jise keke Nitiwu ade ofi bimile ba no. I quite remember when events Nitiwu ba Parliament House foforo. I was a correspondent to Parliament. Na me hwe papa ye nimpa na me hwe se de Nitiwu la areas nipa nchen wa sesa wo. Ene ye kan ye se wo pese wo hu be ma honden ama ni nyiska na hwe ade. Ene oni obi contested or kire nipa no say yeah today he controls the military. Chene nipa asesa. Bronina be hwe wasase so oso de open or de ma wo. Don't say ye kwa Europe, America, Britain, the ye na ye sebi nyado sebi e kronto sebi. Ebusiafo, wona wabo degree saying Dr. Professor den obeye nkusi dwuma ma broni ansa wonsa akwa no. Well, Obino can ask some questions remain. What is this gift? What is this gift of setback, self-pity, and full of isolation from our white supremacists called Christianity offered to us, and how impactful on us? Edieni achedi omudi abre ya sa achedi ama yehu ye ho se ye ya bonfian ama yehu ye ho se ye nye nipa biai ama yehu ye ho se ye nte ye nsem fatai a gift ben ya the gift of esom enom the brain. Well, tonight, yet one of our own is going to tell us what this Christianity is all about. There may be a batch which I say, a feed ye yankasa yemu nipa baakon a onu so ye bibini. Why ready so person catch me no me no say ampa. Esom ye Christosom e woni nsunsu aso e we me no me no so. Na o kire mu a no wo kire me say ne nsunsu aso no e ye nsunsu aso ben ya. To boas na tie. O ye osofo. Afi wo kire o nsunsu aso a some at the Abraminumiano. Take a listen to him carefully. Watch this.
Amen. Satan Kasa, all corner with the Chijai. I am sorry to announce to you, sir. Says I saw a Casa Mumudum. Na Moba, when you made a cheer to Mamma Mumino. Bonsana Kabushana was a Mugano. Says, oh, free gate in a Chile, sorry, Mubium, I am so for now. But now, you are Christo Mobuna Casachero. Says, oh, I saw them. I can't fool. I saw them who charm about Kutatu, because I saw for you would default. Can you ask him about the Pesica? And you know, and I saw the Pesica, would do Sikache, I saw the Babu, and I would saw them. Nasa, anybody don't and Yawa. I saw the Babu for some of fear. Sounds so a young Yababa Dama, Yababa of Ketwana, Abesha saw. Yabama, or Shaswa, offering Yabafa. I saw the Sikache, Nipa. Metal way Yahako. But I want the problem of your church. The church is impeding the progress of this country. Disunity, separation, and freedom. It comes from the church. Now, if you are not closer to the churches, you will not know. Fasta come here and say, Fasta come and say, please, do that fast. And tell us that Mama all out to Fasta come. What's your mama swallowing the tea? What more? Yeah, can for. What more basic can I hear? Yeah, this can asɔre ma na wayara yara asɔre na ɛwɔ nsam no problem ni na asɔre na ɛsɛ wo ba bia onko media ni na rio asɔre bi timi ko bo media paase
Well, I have a great sense of respect. I'm also for your Kasai. He's a brother. Kukubofo. The Krubi obey me, I come with Yasan or Kachram or your software. Wherever he may be, the Sunya Kupo in Shirano. Yes. The Krubi is so can't at show. Mawitin and the Wakachram. Or say the church is doing what? Impeding progress on this nation. And your nation, Ghana, the whole of Africa. Make a show Monday in there. She Upe a sumpa Argentina say nipa at the continent Africa. Uko Asia Uko Arab world Europe, see in Europe. And sorry, no, unimade omo de nso no omo temples ne whatever no omo converted their beer bar na mania de. That's not what I'm preaching for. But there me person me wuti asene say Nyankopon wan hye obi asebra na besi aso dan. No. Munya aka entrone na da na doso. God has not asked anybody. Onyankopon anga say, is it another confusion that is also about whether God and Jesus Christ and that all that the three Trinity which is what emunya no see the event saying there's the pivot no Israel. Yes sir. I saw that ben no see wo Obi no can asem or say he came from Judea and then to Galilee and then he was baptized. Yeah, my producer is smiling. Folks, are who? Bronini, to whom say? Or Sophia can a crabia show to Kwaku media throw. Maybe I make say all these cathedrals I can see memuha, especially some of these one-man churches. They bring from the top down. Yes. They're exploiting the citizens of this nation. Abra politicians they exploit here, no. Now someone is exploiting. Then the Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian is now caught in the crossfire. Random asema ekoso munyan transense see hu mo how be free o. Ghana funi na adwom so politicians no mo ya how ya Monday me catch us say sometimes the media has not been fair to our politicians. But you see the danger part of it is when this so-called men of God, some of these men of God, now competition of who should run the biggest cathedral. They are building churches bigger and bigger. The building of these bigger cathedrals is not because to lead you much closer to God. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me break the news to you. And yes, will lead you closer to God. Oh, it's about the money. It's a competition. The church has become a cash cow. You are vulnerable. You don't understand anything. The sana wadrin beyo na yawa semwa ye beka e bribi ana me wo ba bi ana me ka kire Ghana for no say hwade o e de me when na ka kire o himfa in the Bible e kire say esum ba ko pe ene ye wia e se fa collection bowl ne agibo wo disca na kwede dem Muslim for will not do this. Hare Krishna for me say o ma to collection that mobetime I stand to be corrected though. Hindu for to collection. Mason, Freemason for to na Freemason for crowd omo yes and one say look, this is an organization. They seek to help one another at any given time in need. At the end FSA, they know how to identify one of their own in times of trouble. A Christopher one's where what's it about Banakai? A Christopher nyatrum bunch of hypocrites and crooks and thieves. Modiana say Bonia Shamoma or say me who with the investigations I've done with the body of Christ in Ghana, I swear to God, me who be that? This is an organization. They can fight and fight themselves without you imagine. Say Christopher Nego. As of wo, come who bomb say no more. So for minds will bet me a trap. Nipa obi enko kum osofobi and they don't care. Yanko bro osofobi. Yanko hey, won bet me abawa sorry. E de abe planti bibi or was sorry. Ni yanko sofo na yes sir. This is, and we are talking about the church, representing what you call the Holy Grail. Yes. This is how far you can be wicked. Ghana ni awo hwemi awutie me. Me nka se jai wa sorry ko. Nemom dia make catch on say one kasa wugina ho no we ye onyankopon. One kasa wugina ho no tumi bi wo mu. Hwehwe sa tumi no na wunya hu. Now show broni ni wie ye na ode som ne ba wie no. The next thing na ode eta ato e ma me no mie no eye ade bi o friend say democracy. And I open say men can ye democracy. Yes sir. Owie esom after they left, they came back again and then they introduced what you call democracy. And I must say Kanamin Kebi. My editor at large, Enoch Kofi Ejiri, has a way of putting it. Democracy. Now democracy now you're practicing it in the United States. Democracy have been practiced for well over 246 years down the line. Question. America for what or one. African American democracy is beginning to look like say Donald Trump say more democracy and yet to say banana republic or third world because democracy of America is sinking too fast. It's your home bono air sinking Africa the Ebeka. Now share Obi baby say and bibi papa bibi to me for Nazareth abana democracy. Now here this man defines whether or not democracy would help the world and democracy will survive or not. Say begu say ngu tie. Why natural krata we? And also broni no de bio. Socrates prediction of the fall of democracy. Socrates prediction of the fall of democracy. Na say no kano. Or say quote, democracy must fall because it will try to tailor to everyone. Quote, the poor would want the wealth of the rich, and democracy would give it to them. Young people would want to be respected as elderly, and democracy would give it to them. Women would want to be like men, and democracy would give it to them. And I'm a don't say, oh, hey, man. Or say, foreigners would want the rights of the natives and democracy would give it to them. And fraudsters, or see, thieves and fraudsters would want important government functions and democracy would give it to them. And at the time when thieves and fraudsters finally and democratically take authority because criminals and evildoers want power, there would be worse dictatorship than in the time of any monarchy or oligarch, quote unquote. Or say, and at the time when thieves and fraudsters finally and democratically take authority because criminals and evildoers want power, there would be worse dictatorship than in the time of any monarchy and oligarch, unquote. Asama Socrates say can you folks asem kesiye na me de mu be see her for the part 1 of what Ghana Speaks, of course live on CTV the Frontline with Kwaku Annan. Great, welcome back. And of course, we've walked one leg of the journey, making 80 minutes gone past the hour 9. This is the Frontline with Kwaku Annan. Folks, loads of messages making kind messages, and then we'll walk the second leg of the journey, which is going to be political. Loads of messages, my man, and Kinkai Nina and Tenta. I say, Kwaku, your Frontline show has started well. It's going to be greater. Keep it up. Lawyer Stephen Asante Bequin. Lawyer, salute. I say, good evening, Kwaku Annan. My Annan is A-N-N-A-N. Jane Kahom, Pacho. Why? I say, we are with you. Well, say, hi, Kwaku. This is what we need. Please help us. One Freddy number. Akimoda and Odifri. I say, hi, Kwaku. Good to see you back on the airwaves. In this crucial year of elections, Ghana needs objective people like you. Welcome and have a successful show. SBA Japan, USA, and not by United States. Also, Kwaku, God will continue to bless you and protect you. None can bring you down. Hallelujah. We shall say, I am able. I like what you are saying. Politics and religion is our biggest problems in us and Africans. Well, so good evening, sir. I'm Ibrahim from Ashaman. I really enjoy the show. I believe the problem is not the books, but those who interpret the books. Secondly, two swearing criminals in the name of God. And it's just like adding fuel to fire. God can't be mocked. You are excellent. Well, say, Kwaku, I'm really impressed with your presentation. This is what we call journalism, not engaging in or say not engaging in jadam. I don't know what jadam means. Or say continue the good way. All right, Harrison, Kojo, Abba, and Odeba. Or say, good evening, Mr. Kwaku. I am Ziggy from Agona Swedro. Please, it's only military coup could change the constitution or traditional goals. Traditional goals. General Kutu Ignatius Echampon was a great leader. It's rather unfortunate he is not honored as a national hero. May his soul rest in peace. Kwaku, you are super from Godwin, SCC Kaswa Road. We shall see. Good evening, Kwaku. We are watching you live from Tempo Dio restaurant. My name is Chef Soba. One thing I always see that's in Ghana here, when you speak the truth, people won't like you, but thank God you are speaking the truth. More fire. We invite you to come to Tempo Dio restaurant to have a lunch with us. Thanks. Fire them. We dare your back. Thank you. Hey, more fencing. Tempo Dio restaurant. Shout out to you guys. Also, good evening, Kwaku. Thank you for giving us. Let us know about General Echampon. Go to the Hawk TV on YouTube. When you go to Hawk TV on YouTube, the General Echampon, the friends documentary, and also call my friends Joy News one more blog because I'm gonna collaborate here. Then we also say the only thing I know was quote for Tobeji Golf unquote. See? I say, good evening, boss. You are welcome to the biggest family. Thank you. Me here mo be mami akwa abani atnase. Enye mo amugusuro na de bia na mutuetu obi aso. Na Kwaku Annan na wo na ba na wo de Kwaku crusade power. Obi ntia sese Kwaku Annan to CTV. Anyway, greetings to all my guys, my guy. Hey, Joe Corte, you are there. I know you are there, bro. God bless you, all of you. Group chairman Alahaji said you are gongos. Salute you, boss. And my one and only brother, a friend and a brother, Theo. I know you are watching me. You've sent a message. Yes. And then Lizzie Elizabeth, director of HR. Greetings, We'll say, welcome, boss. Keep the fire burning from bright. Or say Bunsu Kaswa. Or say Charlie, say it all. We are behind you. Expose them. Obviously, good way of saying we are not here to worship God, for there is no God to be worshipped, but to live by rendering service to ourselves and being humane in all our dealings, which demands that we prioritize our humanity above our different philosophies. Or see, we are so engaged in collective reasoning that involves critical and generational thinking to create a conducive environment for our survival and sustainability through a good sense of reasoning. We need to take a key interest in studying. Okay, doors pa we dey say thesis now dey ba. We also say, wow, Mr. Annan, I'm glad to see you since your previous show. This is my first time watching you on CTV. Namesake. I'm happy for you and keep the work. All right, doing. From Kwaku Kusha. No, the bad. We also say this is Mauli from Pantang. I say even big sport tends to chapels. I say big sports tends to chapels. Can you imagine this? We also say man of truth. You are my man, more fire. We are also watching you live from Santa Maria, Accra. Good evening and hope you are all doing good there. And I am McCarthy from Bolga. And I really love your program, especially what you are teaching us. And you are really a presenter and far different from all the Ghanaian presenters. I love what you are teaching us. We all say, you are already blessed with knowledge before you are on TV. Your program is very interesting, and I wish everyone can watch and listen to and learn knowledge and adding for everyone, not only we the youth. Yes, into we share program now. Call a friend to call a friend. No, be a fraunebi unya we no app no social media app no YouTube, Facebook. Wasuma uniebi no social. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:05 p.m. we are airborne. We are saying, okay, well, you were supposed to be born in USA or UK because I tell you, you can be a history lecturer because you are very intelligent and experienced when it comes to heart. You number one in a million to me. No, I'm not. Again, let me also say this and emphasize a point is that there are good journalists out there doing fantastic job, except you probably haven't listened to them or watched them. We also say Ghana's biggest disease is political party. Or say the cobwebs that cover the clawing fortunes of Ghana until we renew our minds from the crazy sectarianistics with the traditional liars who pool their resources together and with a deceptive written lies called manifesto win power to take over the nation, and with their political party pro boxers milk the nation fortunes into their greedy bellies. Ghana needs a second independence, and this one is from the oppression of political party cobwebs and its winner takes all citizens craziness. 50% independence in our parliament would make Ghana work. Excuse me. I still believe Ghana would work. Same Kumasi. We all say, hey, my guys in Bolga, Mosheme, Bolga, Michiamo Pa, Bolga. You know, that's where I grew up. Yeah, I'm not you. Bolga, when I'm in school, what do you mean? Me mates were my senior Isaac Adongo. Or say, we have never practiced democracy. Perhaps democracy. Or say, perhaps democracy. The sugar-coated autocracy by even a slim majority against the fat majority. A good example of what Ghana is suffering currently. Anonymous will say, I'm so happy watching this very great movement that is being led by you. KAM, the Kwaku Annan movement. Let me see this. Oh, I'm reading something here. And that was sent by my director of operations. I'm so happy to be associated with this very great movement that is being led by you. KMA Kwaku Annan movement. I'm watching you on TV with pride. And I salute you, sir. Good one. Folks, let's quickly walk the second leg of the journey. And then, now, tonight, we are following this developing story by Ghana Police Administration and a very disturbing nature of events. On the 19th February 2024, Ghana Police Service issued a press release disassociating the service from a purported comments made by DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu during a panel discussion on Joy News Monday, when the station launched its program lineup for the coverage of election 2024. Assembliesi na assemble munye de papa. Kira say na no dwoada yen ye take it off and our program we take it off no. Sa dan wan so na kira say eye sa edwumakuo kese Joy multimedia for also a launch also program lineup for coverage of the election. Now mo frɛ stakeholders be brave so mo no be didi nkomo no ne ade. Now when no frɛ police penibi officer be say omra police officer a member of the can I say the National Elections Security Task Force Architecture. Ora DCOP Gabriel Prez papa yi bae ene ombedi nkomo kyerɛkyerɛ niema bebree mu ne ade wei na akopie sɛ papa yi sesi e kase yi say interdiction be ache no ɛdeɛ be nti na interdiction be che no well police for ne letter no ha say ti me be kan papa yi kodi nu nkomo awie o owie ya o mo si hey gina ha ne no wansem sa press release wei was written, police statement on comments by DCOP Mr. Gabriel Prince Wabu on election security. 1. The attention of the Ghana Police Service has been drawn to an unfortunate statement made by DCOP Mr. Gabriel Prince Wabu during a panel discussion on Joy News today, Monday, 19th February 2024. 2. The statement made by DCOP Mr. Gabriel Prince Wabu concerning election security are unfounded and unfounded, number 1, and do not represent the position of the Ghana Police Service. We would therefore like to disassociate the Ghana Police Service completely from this statement and apologize to the Ghana Armed Forces. The conduct of the officer is being subjected to internal disciplinary processes of the Ghana Police Service. The omopatri na say papa nkomo okodi ye no Ghana prosifo kire say asem na okokan no ene police anase sa election task force de ben esusuye wo madwin po ene wo mutiri po ene wo mokanko ene dwuma wo no mu ba bedi no ene ni bo ebra hey eruanom tie or see we want to state that under the National Election Security Task Force architecture, the Ghana Police Service works with all other security services, including Ghana Armed Forces, to ensure peace, security, law, and order before, during, and after elections. The approach to the 2024 general elections would be no different. 4. The Ghana Police Service wishes to appeal to the general public to continue to support us and other sister security agencies as we work together to deepen our democratic values during the 2024 elections and beyond. Signed, Grace Ansa Akuffo, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director Public Affairs in India. Hey, I do. Now, folks, you're ready to ene me bia koso na menti ase na meti ase nso a enye yi me pesa meti ase na meti ase nso a enye yi now ye baby se bi the question on above event, and of course as a developing story, is whether or not, number 1, who ordered this man to the program. Why and osuma papa is uncle program nasi. Number 2, who did DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu go to represent? Program Nasino Okoeno. Mind you, Joy FM for Krata, they command the police administration and they acknowledge. And that's also the reason inform the base. On the back of this letter, Womutu Papa is uncle. So question maybe number 2, who did DCOP Gabriel Wabu go to represent? Or representing Wynam? Neho. And also representing police. 3, how composed is the election security task force architecture before, during, and after elections? Edumakuo way woman kase womunyina so ne sen womu gina sen womunan kokko mu ti sen. There also 9. Which briefing took place before his appearance on the show? Answer na obeko hono. The national debeya say security so say any tax force so say elections so chaired by the current IGP, Inspector General. The person I before no pronounce no. Inspector General of Ghana Police, Dr. George Akuffo Addo. Wona woda say kuya no. Question remain. Briefing be na modema Gabriel Wabu. Moment briefing be. Number 5. Was he set up? Should I believe in that school of thought that DCOP Prince Wabu was set up? Should I believe in that school of thought? Now, you see, this is some of the dirty things that we do to people in this country. Abra, any baby, ayo madrine say, openi bia frame openi abotre me ye adwuma me ye adwuma o ma associate yes me ye adwuma papa na me pese IGP, Inspector General of Police, the amodiye papa we no, I think say is bad enough. Now papa no, so I don't think say he will go there and speak on something that he doesn't know and will not speak in line. But some setting up, you see, Inspector General of Police, Ora George Akuffo Addo, and I think that I need to disabuse the minds of his friends and loved ones who feel as though Kwaku Annan hates police officer way. No, Debbie. But let me tell the Inspector General of Police, the day I'll walk with him on that same path would be the day Inspector General of Police will produce the report, which of course me baba ya DB enche e will show we so. The day George Akuffo Addo will produce the report which covers the murder of JB Dankwa. All right? Yes. The Inspector General of Police, George Akuffo Addo, would have to speak. President Dankwa Akuffo Addo, who is a blood brother of JB Dankwa, would have to speak. Ghana for Mufise Nimi Nabefa Asias Ako no. Now President Akuffo Addo is out there hypocritically looking for Debea. He's looking for the report, the dead report, whatever you may call it, of why former President John Evans Fifi Atamils. How dare? Now JB Dankwa Akuffo Addo nyana damfu. Onyana damfu. Womi enuanom emoja baako. Now you know what he did? When JB Dankwa was killed, asema mo kan ya ne say mo di JB Dankwa wo ebe saying John Dramani Mahama ekon eyesa onyankopon hu Ghana mu mpenifo weni mu mobo non kakai mo. What is it that we are hearing and seeing now? President Dankwa Akuffo Addo ne 7-year tenure in office now President Akuffo Addo has jumped into what we call it in political science lame duck period. He's gone. He's swimming there. He's walking down the aisle. Sooner rather than later, gone in oblivion. What is it that President Dankwa Akuffo Addo will tell the relatives of JB Dankwa? When was the last time? I mean, the last time before President Akuffo Addo betina kunyaso. Abesi 7 years. Mati say wa dero and in any of his speeches, even during the era all kind COVID speech in here, abesi say oye independent speeches. The na Ghana 40 said President Dankwa Akuffo Addo challenge the IGP said for the report of JB Dankwa bra. The na Akuffo Addo KB on KB. Na menye sure so be KB da. Who killed JB Dankwa? Ghana for some person muhunioma. The catcher said, don't force me to bring exposés, basa basa. Please. There are some things here, the more we be a wunti mimkra. Monday, what he said me a declaration, he said, somehow may I say, maybe, I wish I don't know what I know. And reasons are simple. Because sometimes when you know too much, and also when the consequences thereof. But then again, ignorance of it, and yeah, ade papa. I don't want to be ignorant. The pain and the President Akuffo Addo ball. JB dan kwani wo no ho asem. Da ben no boy, obeke bi. Inspector General of Police Ekufu Dampare. He was the officer on the beat of this murder case. Yadene kwashe baby then subsequently. Obey route. Me what the reporter and Papa will lobby ya be police IGP. I have that report. Me know babe share. Now you see, Ora Atacha war parliament, please. Mr. Atacha, Honorable Atacha, Bibupa. But she say IGP report on that 7-member ad hoc committee, moon tennis our report on. Because we know what we know. Me say that 7-member ad hoc committee, do not alter the report about this George Ekufu Dampare as to whether or not a new warrior police administration at CNN is saying we have too much. Media say me be predict here later na mo amosan dane na mo ye bibi foforo. But then obi feel say oh ACP hwan mensa wanye ni ye na fa hin na ye den. Onwa George Ekufu Dampare and was setting papa ne up. On one was setting up. Well, yes, sir. Is it in intelligence? Well, the way you see programming your manner, sometimes, but the American say, Ekufu Dampare, IGP, respectfully. Shawunya maybe. Now, show another officer, ASP Bawa Abdul Jalil, has written a piece. And the person make kind kakrebi edemamo na mebeya dibinsu. Today we am about make another serious statement to be. Also, since the early hours of today, when I saw the piece, the police press release regarding the harmless comments made by DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu, who represented the service on a public forum about election security matters, I have felt saddened and I have been pondering over what might have influenced the IGP and his PA to make such a statement. Today, it is DCOP, Mr. Prince Gabriel Wabu, who is involved in this unfortunate news, although this should not have been the case. As the majority of us know, majority of us, where am I? Also, today, it is DCOP Prince Wabu who is involved in this unfortunate news, although this should not have been the case, as the majority of us know that this humiliation and public ridicule that the police administration has subjected him is not right, but we are all silent about. It's people like me are internally distressed, knowing that tomorrow it could be me, ASP Alhaji Bawa Abdul Jalil, or any other officer. It is better we speak up before what is happening touches each and every one of us. Or say perhaps for the first time in the history of the Ghana Police Service, we are witnessing the service disassociating itself from the message conveyed by its own representative of at a public event. This raises questions about the directives provided directly to the DCOP by the IGP or the Chief of Staff Officer, CSO, from the IGP before the program. Based on my understanding, when the service receives invitation, quote, directly or indirectly on quote, such as the one from Joy News, the launch of their election headquarters program, the letter invitation undergoes a thorough review process from the registry to the CSO's Director General Administration, DJ ADMI, and finally to the IGP, who provides specific instructions on the service role and messaging at the event. It is crucial to note that At times, the directives regarding the police statement at such functions are extensively deliberated and agreed upon at the police management board level before an officer is appointed to represent the service. In this particular instance, DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu was chosen to represent the police service at the event, fully briefed on the police position. It is baffling to many of us why the police service, after selecting and sending a representative, would then publicly discredit and humiliate that individual. It is evident that the position articulated by the DCOP during the Joy News program is in line with established international best practice in election security known to both the police and the military, as well as constitutional and election security experts. Folks, inti papa no waye moden. Papa no edien pa na mo face ode ayemo. Hey, onyankopon ti ase o. Well, we dey no be see ha. Na yen sha di bi nso ha. Me babe ya ade keto ebi wa. Viewers, be reminded, Pacho, emu odu kakra mame. Ti share no so, take note. Viewers, be reminded sooner rather than later. Political and religious exposés will soon hit your homes. Very soon. It will hit your homes hard and harder, so you can make a sense of it all. And check. Yeah, the exposés emu oshio. Na ade ba ko e wo Ghana fo hu ne se wo de asem ne betu ho wie na asem ne ewie no mo ase afechi ni Kwaku e na asem we de e na esi me hu in this my ministry of journalism. Na me say mo hu ye hu o Ghana fo Ghana fo ye hu o oman ya nipa mo mo pasem mo sen surasem. Again, let me state for the records and state categorically. And let me state that if your name has not been mentioned on our program, do not relegate unto yourself the responsibility to be going around calling people to do what? If it's become appropriate for the platform to call you and to ask you of what we think we need to know from you, I am a journalist. I am not perfect, and I don't want to relegate onto myself I'm the perfect one. It's not even something I want to say. The imperfection of whatever that we do as humans, it's what you do not want to fish out to know why, because you're a human. But Onyankopon adom is ntire me wa abotre e wo bere a me de ehwehwe enuomam ansa na manowe me biaka ebiom bibia meka bia anso no na kire se ehu adanse e wo ho. Ever since in my journalism, how many years down the line, the only time the only time I make Kwaku me nan mienu we ni nipadua we na mesi a courthouse a court was when me year publication a former Inspector General of Police David Asantia Pitu, he's still around, me boy, yes, was when the former IGP Nadrin say maka assembly na asem no enye ne kre to odemeko court na wo mo court no so mo ye de ombeya well wo mbeye omunye. There's a lawyer called Samedakun who works with a special prosecutor wo mo hye Cromwell and Associate. I'm sure he's located somewhere here. No any lawyer. Woman wa dream pobi wo mutimu de danti. Womba be serving woman in serving no. Womu twenya ma kire se. Wono papa ni di ni birthday no. E no mo san court ko ka kire judge ne se womu hia what you call is substitutional service was den. E de ama papa na ma ni di ni birthday. Na kire se Kwaku 77 previous me na menimu o hare ntini. Womu gi wi a na womu de pia bonten. Abe kire wi asi na se Abrante ni but maminka bibi nkyere mu Ghana fo hwe that is why in here when some of our judges were being ridiculed by Anas Are Emeyaw Anas, I stood up for some of the judges. Yes, and everybody know this record because my wadwen say Ghana sebe yes mra nyedwuma Ghana nti obi artist I know some of the judges are not like the way you think. Judge ni hwe omanim ka chom say no and you're right. Mun kwahwehwe owura na mon serve no muso omu hume e wo my we mu. The judge ni kaka ho an say do you know who you are dealing with? Sa se kire say mi Kwaku minim o judge me ni hu ni dawo. Mini no Sameda akun bomodia record judge na sem e na omde be ma hwan the new crusading guide Abdul Malik Kwaku ba ku newspaper. Jones me montage na ebo a we say newspaper bi crusading guide na bom omode ebe ma crusading guide man publish here word for word of the judge and saying say quote do you know who you are dealing with so a good judge ni mase asem we a judge kan nche ne kwan so anu no and a judge say mon sanko na mon hwehwe papa na mon serve no asem me kan tiawa kire say the next day and a court bailiff frame na me ka say shia me ha na me ko shia court bailiff na me send na me say fa 2 weeks and omo free case no. The former IGP Shemia onim said the American men can okre he de ma yemu binyasi yemu ade o ye buade papa we have a respect for our elders in this country but Kwaku Annan I can never will not may not and cannot be scared means suro nipa wo wiase ha I can assure you I was born with it means suro nipa wo and me hu why a man born by a woman how dare ubewu eya na muka se so masa yen na ye bewu o ubewu iti minim sentia se misro upanye ska na dan ma ubewu ubrebeso enti ye de bebo ma nipa edi ye die ema wunua ti na politician de yam ka se sikadie no munsusu sikadie ni medie. The Inspector General of Police David Asantia Pietu ne ni abre ye court one ye koduru court one judge ye sanfre case no the Inspector General of Police David Asantia Pietu no sorry asema ka kire judge ne say oh yeah sorry case no oni bio hey owura we are sure judge ne kan enu masem bio say no case no onye interested again. Sameda akun eniamo hu bia nchen sa abrante no any of you who have encountered Sameda akun yeah yes I'm a catch and say you were once a journalist, you've been a journalist before, worked with Joy FM, BBC and all of you know the ethics how we do our stuff but no misleading IGP no former Santip Apietu on one kasa no jina no catch a judge only case ni bio sentia only case ni bio on one kasa the judge nearly cited Sameda Akun for contempt of court and yamna mu jina mo say e dey fa hensi na no won dey wi asete e and Inspector General of Police IGP sisa no nkuku nkaka ahenu aheshi puto hwegum dankwansere bakum huja and a judge is a very fair case na ma Chief Justice then Chief Justice enimi eboa usan for me na maka ewie dem me person me catch on say I am one of a journalist. I can never be scared of taking me to court or a judge or whatever. The judges over there, nipa, they reason. Our judges, they reason. Our lawyers, nipa, they reason. And yes, we are judges. We are politician. We tell me, we say, na politician. We tell me, do you know me? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I can do? Mon sem fonsa no. Momo mine munuwate. Now, viewers, and you recall on Monday, I specifically mentioned some names on this program, and I'm saying, more time, they should come and speak to us. Why? What happened prior to the e-levy passage? And yeah, why didn't I boy? I mentioned their names, and I know why. In terms of the Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia's name was mentioned. Mesa Bo Ora, Kennedy Kwame Akumpreku e Japan, he must speak. Ora Afenyo Markin still remain deputy majority leader. If you're YSU, the center cannot hold, but still as of now, I don't know, maybe by close of tonight meeting on your Jubilee House, he must speak. Ora Haruna Idrisu must speak. And then the Speaker of our Parliament, the Right Honorable Speaker Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin must speak. Moma country Ghana for their course, a dready ben a course. Some Mobeka Munkan, Yinim de Ebeka. A prepemu. It's it my boarding and my boarding. Now Mobeka, another name was mentioned. Gabi Asare Ochredakun. Yes. Gabi Asare Ochredakun are many of you. Atunidinze Honorary Prime Minister. I don't know. But Enana agree, the Amede saw Gabi, the say, Gabi, wherever you are, I still would urge you and entreat you to do the needful before things get out of hand. Whether you call it visa fraud, whatever you call it, when we get to the crossroad, we'll name it. But me say, baby, Gabi Asoroche Daku. Gabi, I know you are following the stories. Even before Amira CTV has said, you are following it because I started giving the tidbits of this. My channel so, and I'm abani here to us. Me say, Gabi Asoroche Daku, do the needful. Say a visa fraud, say a debut because me, I didn't know, say. Now we in the first place, not in your traveling to a man here. But whichever way Gabi Asoroche Daku would accept to take somebody's money, some thousands of pounds sterling, no bet training pan say, Metimi Abwa Emma Udishe etukwine, intifasa sikei emame. And Gabi Asoroche Daku took that money, pounds sterling, in London. Number two, Gabi Asoroche Daku also made. Now, Gabi, I'm pushing one button further. You made understatement. Venison. Undertaking, sorry. Undertaking now no. You see? Undertaking was sign here, and there was a witness. Now, if you like, I'll walk you home in the area I am more familiar with, which of course you are also very familiar with. And that is what? Forensic the audit. So that we do forensic. Na Gabi Asoroche Daku ubechre sa undertaking signature na ewo ana enye wo. Impenimfo bi e bisa me nsebi. But eyo mo say Kwaku, ma bebo me srem na me can swear to God me nye bida. Gabi Asoroche Daku me say do the needful. Come and pay. Say sikano. Undertaking no on the 2nd of December 2005. How many years here? And I'm saying some of these your politicians we may di here pay you. Gabi Asoroche Daku we di here pay. Oh here pay fe no here and na musu mwenye sika dodo ma mo ya motwene ma mo nsa. Gabi Asoroche Daku 2005 and what Jesus say every me family relative me family member. Myself enemy mami ye nanti ye drum eko Gabi Asoroche Daku ne office which is just around here coffee shop nechi ohona na Gabi Asoroche Daku office wo. When we came to the office, Gabi Asoroche Daku saw me mami. The witness no what office one wine Magas, also known as wine. Semuni Magas Egbert Fable meboa Egbert wo monko bisa no. Obi baby sase Kwaku adenti na abane se kire se ya bo Gabi epunu mu aba from 2005 basis at time we na untu sika we na obede. Folks, ebe na ebe. Na me pese me kire mo say a lot is coming. Exposes no, a lot is coming. Na me de be wie kura no. Me be ka kire mo say there's a expose bi a eba ya to ni din. A grand conspiracy to have the president assassinated, quote and quote. A document is coming to your door very close. A grand conspiracy to have the president assassinated by elements within, quote and quote. And then it was a top secret blueprint uncovered, the roadmap to the downquest hegemony. A top secret blueprint uncovered, the roadmap to the downquest hegemony in Ghana. Indeed, the blueprints would also reveal the dark secrets of conglomeration of roadmap, detailing an alleged orchestration of a paramount chief together with excellence in government to capture state power. To capture the state power, and you make a sense of it. This expose is all coming. A lot. Folks, this has been the Frontline, of course. Came to you through this very television, CTV, captured across many dozens radio stations, and of course, live on the superhighway on Facebook and of course YouTube on my CTV GH. And of course, we have program ways so me social media handle YouTube and I call TikTok and so on. The Frontline Ghana, we have program needs to be on now. Then watch me power chat bombardier, call a friend to call a friend. Say show no Kwaku Annan back on screen. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Time no 8:05 p.m. Then we are airborne. Shannon, so we are a company. Mo person be advertise. Mo person be bibia, ankro bibia. Uton wedruane. Any day will be our person bomber. Come freely, come and advertise. Ewa bra. The Mama CTV marketing officers and anyway didn't come at a 2 and open live interview cry bear provisions the amount and my akosu kama of course this has been the Frontline tonight's edition medebro yankopon yadma same time 8:05 p.m. Friday you know about the end of the week and of course one more ebo mi chidom no executive producer Yaw Yamba and then social media editor Keynes Campbell and a boy, and of course, camera guys, Samson, I guess. Yes. He's just right beside me. And of course, Amando Nitego, and a director of TV, Same. Debbie, I mean, to me, Modina, account. Same Adeno, yes, great man, always. So making sure, Charlie, the program take off before Charlie he disappears. Great man, and almost a boom. Then MCR Joshua. Great guy. Same time, Friday, we will come and mark the end of the week. Thank God it's Friday. Until same time I come your way. This has been the Frontline with Kwaku Annan. Editors at large, Enoch Kofi Ejiri, Director of Research, and of course Kofi Ansa. All of you did a great and fantastic research for the show. Until same time I come your way, Friday. Have a good night.
Wakuma so adie anyone is wadi hunu ne say ubetu kwanko adie ene CCA hwehwe Trinity of Arc Limited Company na womo na anya akwanya kese a de bira da adie bachi bia ojo manfo tu kwan ebi ko Australia no ne bi so ko UK ne bi ko Canada France, Hungary, Malta, Romania, Slovakia, Brazil, Czech Republic, Estonia, Portugal, Mexico, Poland, Croatia, Schengen, Amaba Bia so apesa okodie. Trinity of Akuffo Addo beko. Nesanyame achawadia unim ball bo na apesa okọ kata. Ekobo bola obeya ho hye amwa akọ simple. Sesia make say adwuma ba edoso. Ya wo promanfo akoye sa adwuma no. Ohia doctors, nurses, midwives, lab technicians, any health workers. Adwuma na bin ewo Canada, UK, any aman kaye no so. Any adwuma sa paye ediamo bia obetima shop attendants, oye mason, carpenters, tilers, drivers, mechanics, plumbers, farmers, caterers, home care, factory workers, forklift